Before
We are live.
we're live. Ben, thank you.
I didn't do
Thank
anything.
you, sir.
I'm not sure what I did. Good morning. Oh, what? Okay. What were we just talking about? Murphy's Law.
What can go wrong
Will go wrong. So we've had, thank you everybody for joining us. We have had an interesting time. First of all, welcome to the Mediare Cafe. You're joined today. My name is Olivia Richardson, and I have the absolute pleasure, honor, just so excited to bring you guys again, Mr. Tarek Peterkin. Wow. Again. So who's basically representing Cigna Healthcare today, who you are in. Tell me kind of where your area is.
I'm a broker sales manager for Cigna Healthcare. My area is surrounding the greater St. Louis area. And so inside of your area, if you're outside of Chicago for about an hour, anywhere up to about an hour outside of Kansas City, if you're visiting with Cigna or looking up information, that's where you'll reach me.
I'm so excited. And what a day. So first of all, you might be noticing if you're watching the live version of this, we're a solid 16 minutes later than normal. Our computer shut down right before we were supposed to go live. We were already shooting film this morning. Computer shuts down 10 minutes before we're supposed to go live. So then I'm like, no worries, guys. We've been through this before. No. Let me get my laptop. I got this. I'm cool as a cucumber. Don't even worry about it. Grab my laptop. Then my laptop doesn't have enough. Internet juice. You were in IT.
It was the buffering sign of signal of circles that we were seeing.
Forever buffer is the only way that I can describe it. Yes. And then not only that, but then I've also been battling a sinus infection. So now I also sound like I gargle nails. Just for fun, just to kind of see what will happen. So
I'm sure, folks, she's healthy enough to sit next to me. I think we're going to be fine.
We're going to be okay.
The transmission of information is what we're about today. So we're going to be just fine.
That's what it comes down to. So thank you guys so much for your patience. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. As normal, what we want to do is encourage you guys to ask questions live. So make sure if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, threats, or promises, my text, if you guys have my text line, which is usually right here, but we're not recording on a capable computer today. So if you have my text line, would love to give that to you. Sadie, put in the comments what my texting number is, because I really don't know my own number, if I'm being honest. No one asks me for it.
I never call my own number.
No one asks me. So text me, or you also have the capability to actually comment here. We will be reading your chats live and answering your questions today. So again, so incredibly excited to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
And the thing is, this isn't the first time it's gone bad. The first time you were supposed to be on was 2 weeks ago, and Missouri got hit with nothing less than
beautiful weather storm,
gale force winds, terrible blizzard conditions, and it was literally the first time we've actually had to shut down our office.
Yeah.
That's when.
That's exactly what I was planning on being here. That's exactly promising.
So
you know that we endure. That's
yes.
why you know that this is going to be something spectacular between us and McNerney. It's simply because everything that can go wrong has gone wrong, and yet we're still here.
I need that on a bumper sticker.
We'll do it right afterwards. Put that in the chat.
Still here.
We can certainly do that. Put it in the chat.
Welcome. Question for you, because today's kind of an interview format. And again, please, guys, feel free to ask questions. The reason why this even got set up is because we had the opportunity to go to dinner together, just kind of talk about where can we fit, right? Where does our opportunity and your opportunity overlap? And 5 minutes of talking to you, I was just I need this man in front of more people. I need the passion. So tell me a little bit about yourself. And you were telling a beautiful story and how you ended up at Cigna Healthcare.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And for those who are not familiar, again, I could talk about Cigna all day, but I'm going to share with you about my plight to Cigna. I had the opportunity to get to Cigna. I've been in my role for almost 2 years now. Prior to that, I was much the same as everybody out here. I was a broker, and I was learning Medicare Advantage, much the same as you, and selling the 20 different carriers over 25 states. So it was very a lot of information to take in. So we understand some of the challenges you have out there. But what brought me to Cigna was the opportunity to really help people. My plight to getting into Medicare Advantage has come from actually having some personal things that got on. My mom passed away on Father's Day in 2018. And over that time period, learning from her journey as a developmental pediatrician, I was able to move some of my experiences as a business consultant prior to that to learning and adapting and understanding how I can help people in a manner that I couldn't do because I'm
Right.
not a doctor. And so taking my business knowledge and also understanding insurance about what people run into those situations when people don't have insurance. It allowed me to really get into an area to try to help people before they get to an area where they cannot use it within their lifetime. And so that's what really brought me around to Medicare
Sure.
Advantage and Cigna. One of the greatest things about Cigna, which we value, which we talked about at dinner as well,
Hmm.
is the simple fact that what we're looking to do is very similar in McNerney as well as with Cigna Healthcare. When we get down to the brass tacks of it, many of you may not realize this, but what we're about here at Cigna, which brought me in and gave me the allure of coming here, is to do the right thing always. And so when you take a look at what it is that you have, whether in your book of business or if you're new to selling Medicare Advantage, the key that you're looking at is the opportunity to help and deal with the health and vitality of those we serve. And that's in our mission.
Sure.
And so from there, I guess to really answer your question, to sum it up, my call to helping people
Hmm.
is giving a platform through Cigna Healthcare to really make sure that we're helping every person that we can, even if it may not be always a Cigna Healthcare client.
Sure. I think that's really powerful because that's where, there's laws and legislation coming out trying to stop this like persuasion of like, well, this carrier pays more, so I'm going to rate them. This carrier does this, that, and the other. And so to hear it's really refreshing to be like, at the end of the day, we're people,
Mhm,
you're helping people. You got to do what's best by your client. You
mhm.
got to do what's best for the situation. How do you feel like that? And I had interview questions, and those are just gone because at this point, why bother?
We're
How,
going to ad lib it today.
I love it. How do you feel like that idea? And I know that's something that Cigna, I've heard that from leadership. I've heard that down to the agents who write Cigna. How do
Mhm.
you feel like that kind of helps get you guys where you want to be going into 2024, being like, we want you to do what's right? And how do you feel like you guys have been put in the market to help agents do that?
Excellent. Well, our services in Medicare Advantage go back about 27 years. Many
Hmm.
people don't realize that we've been in there for quite some time. The market that I do serve, Medicare Advantage, we've only been in there. This is our third year coming in
Sure.
2024.
Sure.
So there's a lot of things that we do have that are out there that have been running successfully. And if
Hmm.
you take a look, let's just back up and just think about where you are. And if you're new to Medicare Advantage, just think about it this way. Just last year in 2023,
Hmm.
just over 31 million people, or 51% of people
Hmm.
who are on Medicare, have Medicare Advantage. Now you take a look at that,
Yeah.
90% of those people are happy with their Medicare Advantage plan. So we're not looking to move or change people, but when
Hmm.
you factor in the fact that 11,000 people a day
Hmm.
are going on Medicare Advantage, this is an area opportunity to learn from the fastest growing segment in our population.
Hmm.
So when you're taking all of this information in, where Cigna sits in there and how we can grow, is because our platform is to grow and to do it incrementally,
Hmm.
but to do it at a clip of what we've been doing over the last 10 to 15 years, which is about
Sure.
a 10 to 15% clip.
So
And
tell me, sorry, go ahead.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, just simply saying, so 10, 15% each and every year. So we're not doing it the most flashiest of ways. The
Hmm.
way that we're doing it incrementally, much the same as how the tortoise and the hare, we
Hmm.
continue to do it with a client, or sorry, a company that's been around for 232 years.
Hmm.
Our clients will benefit from that, understanding that we'll be here through
Sure.
thick and thin.
Sure. So this year you told me about
Mhm,
we had a chance to kind of catch up before
mhm.
this and
Yes,
see the office and everything like that.
yes. Mhm,
Tell me a little bit about the growth that we talked about specifically in the St. Louis area and
mhm,
like how like what was the industry average? Where
mhm.
was that area and how you guys accomplished that?
Well, there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, there are several carriers out there, and I know
Mhm.
that amongst everybody who will see this podcast, whether now or go back and take a looking
Mhm.
at it, there are several carriers that you'll have at your disposal. We know that as an organization, if you're not familiar with us, we want to be a tool in your bag, not necessarily be the entire bag.
Sure.
The only way that you can get to understanding that is to understand the climate. Now, as I shared with you, I was a broker as well, and I was a person who didn't have Cigna as one of my tools.
Mhm.
But understanding what you have in under looking at all of your carriers, you have to understand what is going to work very well. For Cigna, what is the strong point for us is that there's three main things that we're about. We want to be affordable,
Mhm.
we want to be predictable,
Mhm.
and we want to be simple.
Mhm.
They're not big.
That's just make it that easy, right?
It's just that easy.
Just make it that easy.
Right. We don't want to be the flashiest, and there's a reason for that. There's a concerted effort not to be the flashiest
not
tool.
To
And most of,
exactly.
Well, there's different things about the peacock, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to be the flashiest tool because just think about it for you as a broker.
Sure.
If you're a broker and you have the flashiest tool, you have to learn a whole lot. But if there's a lot of changes that happen, which we know every year amongst all the carriers, there's a lot of changes that you do have. That evolution to learn and that curve to understand all of those things, make sure that you not only see some things, but you'll omit some things as well.
Sure.
So what we found in our market, and we all serve the senior market, is that they are very much resistant to change. I don't know if anybody else is out there who's seen that, but I know we have.
Yeah, right? I don't like change. I don't do well with it.
Exactly. So if there's not a lot of things that change, it makes it easy for you to stay on a plan, even when you have circumstances that come. So to make it consistent across the board, which across the 29 states and counties and 603 counties that we serve throughout the country, we're glad to say that we introduced 311 plans across the country this past year. There's things that you'll have on there that's consistent, where years past you may have had to think about, does it have dental?
Sure.
Does it have vision? Does it have hearing? And we have all of that across our plans. So there's not a plan that will not have that. And the other piece to you understand is that in many markets, the reason why we're growing at a pace that we are, which is still at a 10 to 15% rate, is because we're looking to make sure that the services that we have not only work, but also come through in the clutch for you when you do need them. And that's really the benefit of really working.
Be there, like anybody can talk about like, we do this, it's this easy, we sell this, but like be there when the people need you, right? And that was something whenever you and I sat down and had dinner together, we were talking about, some of the struggles that Cigna had this AEP and some of the struggles that we saw. And he was just like, I love hearing that. That's an opportunity for me to show the value you provide, because you have to be there when the people need you there.
Absolutely.
Which you have done.
Absolutely.
Tremendously.
Well, I appreciate that. And,
of course.
And so in the St. Louis market, we had some really outstanding things that happened in our market. We talked about some of the growth there, which is a lot higher production that we have than what our normal averages are. And one of the things that we're really working on, for those who may have existing business, that's great. You know that you're doing some things that are quick and well. But what this affords us also for the opportunity, because 1 out of every 3 people who have signed up or are selling Medicare Advantage may not have had the AEP that they would have liked. And what is a great thing is for any person who's been a broker is that the MAOEP period happens to be a great opportunity for you to come back off of a not so great AEP and really have an opportunity to really perform well. And we have the opportunity to really get out there with you and make sure that you understand in any of the markets that we do serve, but particularly in some of the areas that McNerney is strong, to partner in those areas. And just to make sure you understand that if you're looking at some of the areas that you may search information with some of the tools that you have through McNerney, whether it be on the Medicare Center or some of the other tools you have to understand that what we're here to do is make sure that you look a little bit further in your book to know that there are certain things and certain elements with over-the-counter benefits, with pet allowances, along with some other things. The benefits are there and available for you, for your client, and certain things that may be different. And we just need to show you how to position this.
I love that. Let me ask you this. And again, I had pre-made questions that I sent you and say, this is what I want to ask. And then I said, forget all that. I'm going to ask what I want to ask. Agents, and well, not even agents. I'm asking that wrong already. Consumers that chose Cigna in the areas that they did.
Yes.
Why? Why was it? Because there was, again, to kind of talk about, there was flash out there this year. We all saw like, what is the carrier thinking doing this, right? There is, they're giving away, quite literally giving away the cow with so many things.
Yes.
Agents or consumers that chose Cigna, what was it that they're just like, this is my home. This is where I want to be.
I'm glad that you asked that because, the thing is that many of your clients out there, and looking at where we sit in the market, because even as a healthcare provider, you have to understand nationwide, Cigna is the 4th largest healthcare provider in the nation. Many people don't realize that. We're bigger than some of the other carriers that you're familiar with.
Sure.
And what is significant about that is that the recognition of name is great. The other thing that is good is that in many markets, many people know Cigna from having their group insurance
Sure.
and some of their healthcare concerns over previous years. In fact, if you go out, there's not times, in fact, we went out and even as we're eating, people say, hey,
Yeah.
I have Cigna.
Yeah.
And you're talking about, hey, I had Cigna. That's great to know. And that's a great place to be because you'll find it in obvious places that I've seen. But the other thing that's great about that is that because of the growth, many of your clients who are not looking for change as they get older are transitioning to age 65. If they're moving to age 65, they like to continue with some of those services that they had before. So it makes it a very nice way to transition. So some of the strong points that we have is because of that name recognition and transitioning there.
Yeah, huge in the group market. That
Absolutely.
makes a ton of sense.
Absolutely. Second piece that actually helps us is because the area of our network, we have a national network. So it does allow for us to position you. So if you're working with your clients, it's nice to know that, especially in our PPO plans across the nation, you can travel with assurance that wherever you may be across any of the PPO plans that we do have, that within 6 months of transitioning into a second area, up to 6 months, you have the same coverage that you have in your home area. Also, there's a great thing to think about, including our $20,000 benefit on certain plans for your dental benefit, which when you understand that $20,000 benefit, I'll be happy to share in some markets how that has played significant. And you have to understand, and this one, without just making it a Cigna healthcare thing, I'll share with everybody out there. And whoever watches this is how you become a subject matter expert out there. And anybody who would like to answer this question, put it in the chat for us right now, and I'll follow up with some things for you. But how many steps, if anybody out there can tell us, does it take to get dentures?
Ooh, well, it can't be easy because if it was easy, we'd have a lot more pretty teeth out there.
I think it would be interesting out there, right? And that's the thing, because most of the people who share with you, hey, well, I want dentures, they'll come right behind you and say, well, I want to have implants. But do you realize that across all carriers, that the care based on deaf research, only 10% of the people who tell you that they want implants or dentures actually get them?
Oh,
10%.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. So I will share with you this, and you can go into this more if you ask for more information just to educate you. There are 6 steps to getting dentures, and it takes anywhere between 3 to 6 months to get dentures. To get one implant, it takes between 6 to 9 months to get one tooth implant. So when you're thinking about that from a time perspective, also as a care perspective, you have to give people the entire picture to really talk about their health portfolio. Let's say it that way, because you have to understand that all of those mix into cost. So don't just hit about cost. You want to think about time and value of that as well.
That's very fair. So let me ask you this to kind of piggyback. This is a question I prepped you for.
Yes.
But to kind of piggyback
it's all coming back.
It's all there. It's all there. Coming back. What is let me ask you, talking about the areas where you guys are really successful, talking about, where areas that you're just like, we're really picking up steam. People are really seeing the value here. Tell me a little bit about the AEP 2024 AEP agents who just knocked it out of the park, whether if it was Cigna or other related products. I know you mentioned you have 20 years as a business consultant. So like, how to run a good business. Agents who just knocked it out of the park in 2024, what did they do? How are they different than agents who maybe are really frustrated with the AEP that they had?
Well, let me tackle the latter part of your question first.
It was a long one.
No, I like long questions because I'm long-winded. But here's the thing, that what happens is that most of the people who did not have a great AEP, most of those people did not have a plan. 95% of the agents or salespeople in general out there do not have a plan. So if you're operating without a plan, it's very hard to execute. And the thing about having it, or to making sure that you do things to within a satisfactory level for anything that you do, is to have a plan. We will say that from my understanding in St. Louis, from the people who I surveyed, 67, almost 68% of them share that they had a better than average AEP. And they drive a lot of factors for that across various carriers. But the reason why we're here, and what was really instrumental and exciting about me coming here and having this conversation across Growing and Learning, is that we are really poised and positioned across the country to really work and partner with you. I know my counterparts across the country would be glad to have conversations with you about this. But it's significant is because even though that number sounds really strong, that 67, 68% of people had a better than average AEP.
Yeah.
As a broker sales manager, our focus is on those 32% that didn't. And our area of understanding is that if you're not familiar with us, it's sort of like going back to our point earlier, talking about the tool. If you have a tool in the bag and haven't used it and don't know about it, that leaves a lot to be desired. And I can talk to specifically in the St. Louis market, there's plans across the country that we have up to $130 per month give back on some of the plans. And in St. Louis, we happen to have a plan that has up to $100 give back on an MAPD plan. It's the number one in the market. Yet there's several brokers out there that have not taken opportunity to learn that plan. And there's some areas that are set up very well, especially for the hospitals and doctors that are in network that poise as well, which make it a sort of like a basketball term, a layup for you to really work in a plan that makes it very simple for people to transition to.
What do you think is the number? We have agents. I think, in my opinion, whenever, I've been doing this for 11 years and working with agents, I think one of it's just like unwilling to get outside a comfort zone, unwilling to incorporate new habits. This worked for me forever. Why would I change what's not broke? What do you feel was Cigna's biggest obstacle that you guys overcame in 2024 AEP that led to you guys having a lot of that success?
I think there's a lot of things to. Number one, we're still growing. We're still new. And if you look at our business, because a company that's been around since 1792, if you look at our Medicare Advantage business, it's still fairly new in comparison to our size of business. So there's still areas that we're infancy and using that infantile or that childish abundance need to grow, to really learn. So we're still curious in a lot of ways.
Oh, I
so
love
we're
that.
Still
Stay
learning,
curious.
right? We're still learning, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're still learning, we're still adapting, Olivia. And the great thing about adapting is still understanding our market. We're still listening to three main components for us to understand what we can do. We're still listening to our providers and finding out what we can do to work better. We're still getting communication from our field people, our brokers, our folks out there. And we also find out information from our members and non-members, the people who we're touching. And we gather that information in a 360-degree view so that way we can better perform. So what made that happen for us in 2024 is really just to sit down and work with those who may not have been working with us before, who may have had a conversation, because there's people who are very comfortable in their existence in the business. And, we already understand that Cigna may not be always the right fit for everybody. But what the great thing is that even if we're not the right fit for everybody, we may be the tool that you may need in a certain situation.
Sure.
And what's great about it, the differentiator that I think is the second biggest component, is that you're broker sales managers. I know a lot of people have had their familiarity with different carriers, but it's always a good thing that when you're navigating, especially for me as a broker, I know I had the instance of making a call, trying to reach to a carrier at 9 o'clock at night on an AEP and couldn't get an answer. Right?
Yeah, it's that twilight, that dead zone. When you're on your own.
And I'll be glad to share this with you, is that I am very key about, even if I may not have the answer for you, I'm glad to say I don't know, but I can get back to you.
Sure.
And I welcome that, and we can put our information. I'll share that information with you before we leave today, regardless of wherever you are in the country. If you contact me, I can send you, or you can contact your broker in the area. We are willing to help you. And that's an area that's been significant for us. It really has poised us well in our St. Louis markets, some other markets around the country. If you're not familiar or not as versed with Cigna, that'll be a welcome time. It'll be an opportunity for us to really get together and to share with you, because what your goal is and what your mind is what we can do. And getting back to the other area that we pointed out earlier, is that we will help you. Broker sales manager will help you develop a plan and help put some of these activities in place that will help you broaden your horizons. It may not be always the right fit for all carriers, but it will be the right fit for you as a broker, which is why broker is the headline in our title.
I love that.
Thank you.
So I saw we have a question here that I'm sure you've been getting a lot. And I want to kind of wrap it into one of the last questions I want to ask you, because I want to be conscious of your time.
Yeah.
What's on the horizon for Cigna in 2024? We've talked about kind of where it started. I mean, what year? Cigna has been around since the
1792.
1792 was one of the first health insurance plans written, period. It was since World War I. I was listening.
There's some nice timeline information we talked about earlier.
It's insane, the breadth that Cigna has.
Yes.
What's going to happen? What are we looking at in 2024 for Cigna, including some of the industry talks about what's going on with Cigna, Humana, what's going on out there, right?
I can tackle that one because that information is out there, and I can take some of the information because, again, that's not my hat. Again, there's a couple of things above my pay grade. So there are certain things that we don't really talk about rumors or misnomers that may be out there.
Sure.
So that's not an area. But I can tell you that there was information that, I don't know, that was talks about Cigna acquiring Humana back in December, which was put to rest. And so that is
Sure.
not something that is going on at this time. Obviously, what we are about, which most people don't like this answer, and trust me, if I'm in your shoes, I would like to have a final answer as well. But even as we're talking, no different than you, Olivia, we're all sitting in here with a job to do and responsibility to do. And I can really makes us laser focused about doing the job that we're here to do. And you understand that the plans that we do have, everything that we have now is already certified through CMS and has been so for the year and will be on the duration for the year. So we're confident that as we work through and as you learn more about us, we'll be a happy partner with you going through 2024.
I call that the meanwhile back at the ranch. Like, I understand we got to keep our eye on the market. We got to keep on the future. But at the end of the day, people need insurance. People need help. People need the conversations. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, we got work to do.
We got work to do.
We have work to do.
We have work to do.
My last question for you.
Yes.
What do you want the people to know? I mean, like, it's been a time getting here, right? We had technology issues, we had a reschedule, we've had so much going on. You're getting ready to address our sales team, and so that they can hear this message.
I'm gonna scare them like I scared you.
I love it. No, I listened. I want to hear from you, and I have a short attention span.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So exactly,
No worries.
What I want to hear is what do you, if you had a message to tell agents, not just in Missouri, but not just in Illinois, Texas, even a message to tell our agents, what is that? What do they need to hear from you?
Well, I'll put it this way, and thank you. So let me summarize it. In short, again, before we say anything else, let me just thank you. Thank you all for Mediare Cafe. It's absolutely wonderful. If you're not a part of it, you need to join in now to learn more. There's so much information that you get from here, and I'm excited about this platform. But let me share with you this. There's one main thing that I want everybody to understand about Cigna Healthcare out there. And if you're listening close, just take a look at this. Cigna Healthcare is a friend to your business. If you just simply think about it this way, how would you want a friend to really work with you? Now, I have mentors, and one of the things I was just sharing last night with somebody who I'm mentoring is that friends don't always make the best business partners.
That's the truth.
But business partners make the best friends.
I love that.
And so when you think about where you're trying to go, understand that we want to partner with you. We want to sit down and understand what it is in your business, but we cannot help you unless we know how to communicate with you. So as much as I'm here today for Cigna Healthcare, I really am here because Olivia asked me to be here as a communication to really open the door to help you. Because if you understand that your business is part of what we're looking to do, which is very simply, we're looking to grow. And in order to do that, we need an ally like you. We need somebody who's out there who understands the community and, more importantly, who's willing to learn based on what we're showing. Now, we have some tools that we have for here, which I believe that are second to none in the industry. And we have, I would tell you, amongst anything, a fantastic team of broker sales managers and leadership across the country that it will be invigorated and, more importantly, excited to work with you when given the opportunity. So I will just close out what we're saying now and just answer the question this way. Simply put, we're welcoming the opportunity to open the doors to your business. And if you allow us in there, I think that you won't be disappointed.
I could not have said that in a script if I had even tried. Like, if I had a week to write down, how do you get people to just, like, I care? I mean, we joke about this. We had an agent, my favorite agent testimony we had, and you'll have to excuse my French, but someone put, like, they just give a shit. They just care. And that's why, again, whenever we sat down and had dinner, and it was after the meetings and all that, you weren't even able to go to the meetings. It was just, I'm going to come have dinner with you guys. After all that, I was like, people need to know that people care. People need to know that there's somebody like you who says, I want to help today's seniors. You are my avenue to help today's seniors. This is what I want to do, and I'm dedicating my life to it. So
absolutely.
I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you for having me.
Handling, oh my gosh, it's when it can go wrong, it will go wrong, for handling our technological difficulties, for handling our such stuff. I am so blessed to know you, so blessed to have you in my circle. And how can our agents get a hold of you if they're just like, this man, of course, I know everybody's saying this, he knows what he's talking about. I need more. How can people get a hold of you?
you can certainly call. I can give it a number here. You reach me on a number, and we advise that I have my phone with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So my family understands that, but understand that my passion is helping people. So that's a priority to me, your priority. So that number is 618-305-4548. Again, that number is 618-305-4548. You can reach me also at my name, Tarek, Tarek, dot Peterkin, Peterkin, at cignahealthcare.com. And hopefully we can put that information into the chats and send that information across. But I'm more excited, and more importantly, if you caught this podcast today, the bigger thing that I would ask is that don't just share it with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share it with somebody else who you know inside McNerney, and let them know that we're here and poised to help you? That's the biggest thing that I would share. If we can walk away from that.
Oh, I love that. And again, if you guys do want more information and say, like, I just need more, you can also reach out to senior marketing specialist, 1-800-689-2800, of course, with the Mediare Cafe. We are, again, this is something that, like, every time I talk to you, I just feel like I'm ready to run through a brick wall. And it's always like we have the same vision. We want the same things. And, like, I just am so excited that we were able to kind of share your passion with our agents and with the community out there. So looking forward, again, if you guys do have any questions, please reach out. This is a man you need to have in your corner. I'm so thankful that he is in ours, and I can't thank you enough.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So here's how we end every podcast, okay? So here's your part. Okay. All you have to say is, have fun. You say, I'm going to say, have fun. You say, make money. We both say, and give impeccable service. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Okay. All right. So until next time, guys, have fun.
Make money.
And give impeccable service. Thanks. Oh, you did good. That was your first time. You did great.
I'm adaptable. I told you, folks.
I love it. Thank you guys so much.
Take care.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.